I'm sitting here with my grandson, Marshall, and he's 16 and is in Wellington, isn't it? Yes, grade 11.
Yeah.
And I asked him what issues would concern him when it comes to city governance. One of the issues he's mentioned is the growing population of deer in residential areas. And that's an interesting one. The deer can become quite a nuisance for people who are trying to maintain gardens. Deer come and eat everything. But sometimes it's more than just a nuisance. It can be quite a hazard to motorists if the deer jump out right in front of them, and especially to cyclists because the deer can cause quite an accident. Uh, it's not always the deer that gets hurt in those accidents either. Uh, Marshall was telling me about a person who actually went head over heels off her bike after a deer jumped in front of her. So the issue, I guess, though, is what can the city do? Does the city have any responsibility for that? And I think it does, at least in part. We did have someone from the Ministry of the Environment come and talk to us at City Council a few years ago about what could possibly be done. And the solutions range from simply fencing in your yards if you're trying to grow things you don't want the deer to eat, to actually culling the population of deer by bringing in people who do that in a humane way, either catching the deer or shooting them. We didn't pursue exactly how they would do that. Um, but it is a problem. One of the regulations we did consider, and I think may have put into effect, and that was a rule that residents are not to feed the deer. I think that tends to make them more domestic than they should be. They are wild animals. They do coexist with us, but they should not become our pets. Um, I know so many people love to have deer on the streets, to see them in their backyards, especially if they're coming from elsewhere where there's no wildlife around, and they see it as a real blessing. But for many others, they can be quite a nuisance, and we do need to find ways to coexist with them and protect our own property at the same time.